let's circle back to China. Now, you were talking about the South China Sea.
Yes.
And I agree. That is the largest problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so they spent a lot of time talking about the future of Taiwan.
Yeah.
Xi said something fairly intense. Xi said the U.S. side should take real actions to honor its commitment of not supporting Taiwan independence, stop arming Taiwan, and support China's peaceful reunification. That's very bold statements. It's acknowledging that Biden is sending weapons to Taiwan,
Yeah.
which is already something.
Yep.
And it's a pretty intense demand, right? That's a very strong ask. And also, it's interesting because America doesn't have currently the position of supporting Taiwan independence.
Well, I think that's why it's an ask he can make, right? Because supposedly, technically, the U.S. does still support the one China policy.
Right.
They've never said otherwise. So she has the grounds to make that ask.
Right.
Do you know how Biden responded to that?
Yes.
Okay.
So Biden's response, he reiterated that the United States opposes any unilateral changes to the status quo from either side, that we expect cross-strait differences to be resolved by peaceful means, and that the world has an interest in peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait.
Very diplomatic.
Yes, it says nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it says you can't do anything. It says I'm not taking either side. That's sometimes I feel like the right answer is to say nothing.
Yeah, I totally agree. That is the perfect time and perfect way to say absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the reason that this Taiwan conversation, obviously we always have the Taiwan conversation, especially between, that China's largest geopolitical goals, but it's important to remember that Taiwan is having an election very soon. In 1 month or 2 months, they will be having their presidential elections. And it is in between three parties, okay? We have the Democratic Progressive Party, the KMT, with an alliance with the Taiwan's People's Party, and a single independent businessman who is currently the mayor of Taipei. Taipei being the largest city and capital of Taiwan. So I want to run through a little bit of the parties and kind of what they're standing for, not in detail, but just so we have an idea about what this election means. So so the Democratic Progressive Party, they currently rule Taiwan and are classified as socially liberal, pushing for social liberalism in the economic and social sense. And they are Taiwan nationalists. They want a clean break from China. They make that explicitly clear. That is their goal. They do not want to be associated with the CCP, and they don't want any threats to be reunified at all, which is a fairly intense stance that makes the CCP nervous.
Yes.
Now, the KMT and the Taiwan's People's Party have decided to join tickets and not run separate candidates for either political party. They're going to run one candidate. The one candidate hasn't been selected yet, but they're going to run one candidate. The KMT supports the one China policy. It's interesting why they support the one child policy. They don't do it because they like the CCP and want to be fully integrated with the CCP in every way. The KMT believes that they themselves are the true governing body of all of China, going back to the 1949 Chinese Revolution.
Okay.
And so if they accepted that there are two separate systems in two separate Chinas, that would be them then giving legitimacy to the Communist Revolution of 1949. So they do not want to do that.
That seems silly.
It is silly. It is silly. But the KMT has also changed its rhetoric slightly. The KMT views warm relationships with Beijing as Beijing with the best guarantee of Taiwan's security, while DPP, the Democratic Progressive Party, is wanting closer and closer ties to the United States and other Western democracies, including South Korea, including Japan.
Yeah, it makes me think of a general human defense mechanism. One is fight. The DPP is more fight, right? And the KMT is more appeasement.
Definitely appeasement.
Yeah.
Definitely appeasement. And then there's a third ticket, which I think is funny. There's an independent businessman. He is currently the mayor of Taipei, and he was on the board of Foxconn, which is interesting. He ran previously for the KMT presidential primary and came second, but he did not end up winning the KMT. But now this is where we are. We have an election coming up. We have 2 months until the Taiwan election. Xi Jinping has told the Biden administration and the Biden delegates that they had no plans to invade Taiwan, but this is when Biden hit right back at him. Uncle Joe, he's like, we know that you're building up military right across the strait. We know you're doing that.
Yeah.
Apparently, Xi chuckled and laughed it off, but that's not funny.
No, I like that Biden responded that way because I would, obviously you can't trust Xi at all.
Yeah,
No.
no.